This is CBN NewsWatch.
And thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Senator John McCain's life of courage, honor, and bipartisanship has struck a chord with the country. Today, he returns to the U.S. Capitol for one last time. The American hero was greeted in Washington by a military honor guard. Today, McCain lies in state in the Capitol Rotunda. Thousands lined the streets in Arizona Thursday to pay their final respects to their senator of more than 30 years. And former Vice President Joe Biden offered a heartfelt eulogy for his friend of many decades.
It wasn't about politics with John. He could disagree on substance, but it was the underlying values that animated everything John did, everything he was. You'd come to a different conclusion. But where he'd part company with you, if you lack the basic values of decency, respect.
CBN News senior Washington correspondent Jennifer Wishon is covering McCain's memorial and joins us now from Washington. Jennifer, how did Senator McCain and former Vice President Biden become such good friends?
Well, I really love this story, Ephraim. When Joe Biden was becoming he had just been elected to the U.S. Senate. He was barely 30 years old. Around that time, shortly thereafter, John McCain was released from the Hanoi Hilton in Vietnam, where he had been a prisoner of war. He then became a liaison to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, of which Joe Biden was a member, and the two ended up traveling the world together. Joe Biden as a U.S. Senator from Delaware as a member of the committee, and John McCain as a naval officer before he ever joined the Senate, and they became fast friends. They were similar age. And they just developed this bond that surpassed any type of political differences they have. And of course, now Biden can be this tremendous comfort to McCain's family because, of course, his son Beau died of the same disease that claimed John McCain.
Indeed. There's a lot of talk about McCain's attention to bipartisanship. Do you think it will have any impact in Washington?
Well, there is a lot of bipartisanship, Ephraim, that we don't hear about on small issues. Republicans and Democrats work together every day. They are friends across the aisle. However, on the bigger issues, it's tougher. And so I think what we're seeing is there is an expanded conversation because of what McCain stood for. But as we see the parties becoming more polarized, Democrats becoming more liberal, Republicans becoming more conservative, and we see the electorate really applying these litmus tests, it's harder, I think, for members to work across the aisle because they have to go home and in for self-preservation purposes, the members who want to come back and be reelected, they're responsible to their electorate. And it's just harder and harder for members to reach across the aisle. But certainly it is being talked about in Washington this week, and it will be synonymous with John McCain's memory.
Jennifer, Senator McCain lies in state at the U.S. Capitol Rotunda today. What else is planned to honor his life?
Well, this weekend, another display of bipartisanship. On Saturday at the National Cathedral, former Presidents George W. Bush and Barack Obama will deliver eulogies of the late senator, two men who, of course, kept John McCain from becoming president. And so another remarkable display of bipartisanship and goodwill. After that, on Sunday, John McCain will be laid to rest at the Naval Academy, which is just outside of Washington in Annapolis, Maryland, and he will be laid beside his good classmate, Chuck Larson, who went on to have a very distinguished career in the Navy. They decided 20 years ago that they wanted to be laid to rest beside each other at the Naval Academy. So lots of very special moments and more memories of John McCain to come over the weekend.
All right, Jennifer Wishon, thank you so much for coverage of this. Of course, you can find more on this throughout the day at cbnnews.com. Here now is a look at some of the other major headlines we're following for you today inside the CBN newsroom. Organizers of Aretha Franklin's funeral insist it will be a spirit-filled service, not a show. The invitation-only funeral takes place today at Detroit's Greater Grace Temple. Speakers at the funeral include former President Bill Clinton, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and Smokey Robinson. Singers include Stevie Wonder, Ariana Grande, Jennifer Hudson, Faith Hill, and Chaka Khan. The Trump administration is planning to pull all U.S. funding toward the United Nations aid program for Palestinian refugees. Reports say the administration disapproves of the way the UN Relief and Works Agency uses its funds and wants to reduce the number of Palestinians who claim refugee status. This all comes after last week's announcement by the U.S. State Department it will cut more than $200 million in bilateral aid to the Palestinian Authority. The administration has yet to confirm its plans. The Supreme Court ruled against a Catholic foster care nonprofit in Philadelphia Thursday. The Catholic's foster program was blocked by a lower court for refusing to allow same-sex couples to be foster parents out of religious objections to same-sex marriage. The Supreme Court let stand that ruling, ultimately halting the foster program. Now, for more on these stories and others throughout the day, visit cbnnews.com. And coming up here on CBN NewsWatch, meet a business tycoon who traded a job on the oil pipelines for one inside Texas prisons. The amazing story is coming up next. Skyrocketing incarceration has policymakers, politicians, and religious leaders all rethinking the criminal justice system in America, a system that relies heavily on locking people up. And some argue it's not doing nearly enough on rehabilitation. Our John Jessup introduces us to a Texas businessman on a twofold mission: to save souls and to close prisons.
It's line pipe for 36-inch line pipe.
David Howell knows a good investment when he sees one.
They're taking pipe all over the place.
At 14, he started working in the oil industry. Today, he makes a living buying old underground pipes and rehabilitating them, giving second life to what many might consider waste.
It is ultimate recycling to me, and it's like I said, it's just tubular steel that can be used and reused.
In a way, David's career has come full circle, much like his life.
If you can imagine a total self-centered life, me, that was me. And a lot of that centered around alcohol, sex, all the things, money, and just taking care of my own personal needs.
As a young husband and father, he wanted to abandon his destructive lifestyle. So he turned to Alcoholics Anonymous and soon after found himself in church.
I jumped into AA and became Mr. AA. And when I became a Christian, I said, this is going to be an all or nothing deal for me as well.
Now sober for more than 35 years, David's dedicated his new life to sharing his story with anyone who will listen.
I would find people outside of a meeting and would go to lunch or go to coffee, and I would write stick figures and show people the story of Jesus.
The AA crowd, being part of that, and that he used a lot there and kind of experimented there. I think that was sort of his testing ground. Several
years ago, he wrote a book called How to Be a Child of God. And that opened a new door.
Even though he is a gifted evangelist by gift, he never really had seen this coming. I never saw this coming.
David's success has served him well, but after 30 years in the industry, he's spending less time reclaiming old pipes on the oil field and spending more time on the mission field reclaiming souls for Christ.
In places like this, behind wire fencing, with armed guards and under constant surveillance, David Howell's book is making the biggest impact. CBN News obtained rare access to talk with prisoners about the value of David's 52-page how-to guide.
Since I read that book, I changed my life.
Kareth Gilstrap anxiously awaits his release in September after serving a 2-year sentence for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Kareth, how else have you changed? Has there been a change in your personality and your behavior?
Yes, definitely. I've learned how to tame my tongue. I've been reading my Bible more, doing a lot of Bible study. So yes, definitely.
Do you think others have noticed the changes as well?
Yes. My sailor, he's been telling me.
What has he told you?
He was like, you he said, you going all holy on me. And I was like, man, I'm trying to get right, man. When I get back out there, I can't be who I used to be.
Jackie Beaver's anger issues landed him in prison for more than 20 years, serving time for aggravated robbery and kidnapping. He wrote to David to tell him his book was amazing and opened his eyes to a lot he didn't know.
Like I'm a true believer that Jesus Christ died for my sins. And when I read that book, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like something took over me.
CBN News was there to record the moment both men personally got to thank the author. For David, the meeting only confirms the call to keep reaching out to the 2 million American men and women behind bars.
Here I am, 77, and I'm a roughneck from South Texas. And what do I know about writing a book about salvation? But I could identify with those kind of people. I've roughnecked with them, I've worked with them for all the things I did in all those years of that hellish living. He got caught and I didn't. The only difference is he's in prison and I'm not.
Prison volunteer Rick Pritchard hands out copies of How to Be a Child of God. He says it's colorful, easy to understand, and produces real change in a place of physical and often spiritual bondage.
They're free, and you can tell when they got Jackie, the smile on their faces. You know they're free inside.
David wants to get 600,000 copies of his book into America's largest state and federal prisons and county jails, all with the goal of helping men and women behind bars experience spiritual freedom.
And that's what we say in prison evangelism, changing hearts and closing prisons. So the return on investment is incredible.
Reporting for the East Ham unit in Lovelady, Texas, I'm John Jessup for CBN News.
Still ahead, we're going to hear from a celebrity couple who's been married for 30 years. We're sitting down with David and Tamela Mann. Stay with us. Gospel music singers David and Tamela Mann are celebrating 30 years of marriage. We have this look at what they're doing now to encourage others to pursue happy and healthy marriages.
God provides. It's hard to say when there's no food to eat.
Tamela Mann is famous for that sweet and powerful voice. It's earned her Grammy Gold. But the gospel recording artist also graces magazine covers for her longtime marriage to fellow singer and actor David Mann.
I love photo shoots, especially for a magazine like Upscale that's so family-centered. I'm really honored that they want to do a piece on our family.
Are you sure they got the right family?
It's a happy family life they've shared on the hit reality series, The Manns.
Now, you've been married 30 years. You're both here and still in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Take us back to the very beginning. When did you meet? How old were you? What happened?
When we first met, we were 18.
Okay.
We were like 18 when we first met. Actually, my best friend introduced us. See, we were best friends like from church and we grew up together. Then she went to high school with David.
Let me just add, at the time, we were a pretty big deal on campus.
Yes, because
there was three of us.
It was some guys that sang, and my best friend had chorus class with them. She was like, y'all sing real good, but I know someone who could out-sing you guys.
So we all thought we were the stuff, because we were singing around town, and the ladies would just be, oh, y'all sing so good.
And so Nicole was like, no, y'all sing pretty good, so let's see. So
they brought her to sing. Blew us away.
I just sang, and I can't even remember what I sung.
That developed into a friendship. We were strictly just friends. No, I had other people.
You was about to say no hanky-panky.
No hanky-panky. I had other people on the side, so I couldn't, at the time, I was involved in something. And we were just strictly friends. We were really good friends, and that is what our whole relationship is based off.
The Manns have come a long way since those early years, and they're celebrating, writing their first book, Us Against the World, Our Secrets to Love, Marriage, and Family.
So you decide to write a book after 30 years of marriage. What is it that happened that inspired you to do it?
Well, I think what happened is we kept getting a lot of people coming to us for advice. And with being married, and we kind of started out early because we're people. You know, we love people and people are always around us. So that kind of pushed us and motivated us over the years, but we kept pushing it off. But the Lord kept pressing and me really too in my spirit. And I tell David, I said, it's something that we have to do to encourage families to, even though, and we're a super blended family. Mm-hmm. So we just wanted to share some of our stories and some of our experiences with others to kind of help them with their lives, their day-to-day lives.
We sit down and just say, look, we got to put this book together. So here we are, Us Against the World, Our Secrets to Love, Marriage, and Family.
How would you say you mastered the secrets? Was it trial and error? What happened?
I would say trial and error. I mean, it's just like a job. You know, you have to work at it. Marriage, you have to work at it, the relationship. Because, you know, divorce was not an option for us. We took that off the table. So whatever came, we decided that we were going to work through it.
You know, you say it's a work in progress.
Yes.
We haven't discovered the master secret to all of this. What we tell everybody, we don't have a perfect marriage. What we have is a marriage that's a work in progress.
We're not trying to paint a perfect picture here. There's no perfect couple because everybody have disagreements. Mm-hmm. And we want to talk about some disagreements and just how we handle some of the disagreements that we have.
We do talk about some of our lows, but we talk about a lot of our highs, and we share a little bit of my practical joke stir. Can I call it my practical joke stir?
I like
in here.
that.
Yeah, and
which he had a lot of practical jokes.
You guys not only are married and have a family, but work together from Meet the Browns to Kirk Franklin and the Family.
I'm Leroy Brown. Hi. My friends call me Leroy Brown. You can just call me Leroy Brown? Yeah, how you know?
But you know, that was always my prayer.
Really?
That was my prayer as a young girl, that I would have someone that did the same things that I did. So I wanted someone who sang and was interested in church and music, because that's what my love, my first love is singing, my passion. And the Lord blessed me with someone who loved what I love. So we've really built, you know, together. And then it went from, you know, the singing to the acting, which the acting is what he loves.
A lot of people ask, how do you juggle this? How do you give it equal weight and balance it? And I tell everybody, I never give my marriage the same weight and balance. I never try to balance it with anything else. It far outweighs anything else I'll ever do. Whether it comes to work, the career, kids, anything. This is my first ministry. And I never try to balance anything against her. So I tell people, I was like, look, if this business ever gets in the way of this, we'll disappear. Yeah.
It's the Lord first and then him.
And that's why we came up with the title, Us Against the World, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be us. The kids are gone, we're empty nesters, and guess who is left?
It's us. And we're having fun. And we're enjoying it.
Just one of many marriage and family lessons the Manns are opening up to share.
And David and Tamala Mann's book will be released soon. Stay right here to CBN NewsWatch, and we'll let you know when it is available. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
We have our guy. It's Adolf Eichmann. Let's go.
In the movie Operation Finale, it's years after the end of World War II, and Israel's Mossad intelligence agency launches a daring top-secret raid to capture the notorious Adolf Eichmann. Also known as the architect of the Nazis' final solution, Eichmann was key to the genocidal murder of 6 million Jews.
The trail went cold in '46. Latest intelligence suggests Buenos Aires.
This guy convinced rabbis to load the trains themselves.
He was reported dead in the chaos following Nazi Germany's collapse. But Eichmann was, in fact, living with his wife and 2 sons in a suburb of Argentina under an assumed identity. Monitoring his daily routine, the Mossad operatives engage in an intense game of cat and mouse, hoping that somehow they might bring this evil man to justice for his crimes.
A bullet would be easier than dragging him here.
Eichmann will stand trial here in Israel.
For the first time in our history, we will judge our executioner. For the sake of the world, do not fail.
Based on the real-life story, this cinematic version is compelling and well acted. Perhaps more important is the fact that the film is able to communicate the horror and aching loss of the Holocaust without actually showing us many of its ghastly details. And the movie leaves us to ruminate on the idea of true justice, its value, its makeup, and the sacrifices good men will make in its name. For teens and older, I'll give Operation Finale a 3 out of 5 for family friendliness. For an in-depth review of this film or anything else at your local box office, visit us at pluggedin.com. plugging you into the movies. I'm Cheryl Wilhelmy for Focus on the Family's Plugged In Movie Review.
For teens and older. Right now it is time for your Friday Faithful, so I leave you with this word as we wrap the work week and begin the weekend. It is important that you do the work to remain filled with the Spirit. The cares of life can drain you. Spend time filling yourself with His Spirit, singing songs and hymns and meditating on God's Word. It will fill you repeatedly. With that word, I encourage you to make this a fabulous Friday and a wonderful, wonderful weekend. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. We thank you so much for watching. Remember that you can always find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. And of course, we would love to know what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. Also, remember, while the news wraps for this edition of CBN NewsWatch, it continues 24/7 at cbnnews.com. We are updating all day and bringing you fresh and new information. Hope you'll also reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have a fabulous Friday and a wonderful weekend. We'll see you right back here come Monday. Goodbye, everybody, and God bless.